Opposition-held areas in Jonglei State ahead of a military operation. The UN says clashes in Jonglei have already displaced around 180,000 people and are threatening the fragile 2018 peace deal that ended years of civil war. Here's CGTN's Sharon Baranga.
The South Sudanese government insists that its military offensive is necessary to stop the advance of the Sudan People's Liberation Movement in opposition and protect civilians. But the violence is threatening to unravel a fragile peace deal.
With imminent start of operation during peace, all civil population in SPLA control areas of Mural, Hurur, and Akobar are directed to immediately evacuate for safety to government control areas as soon as possible.
The fighting is putting the 2018 peace agreement, which ended a brutal 5-year civil war, at serious risk, although the government says it's still committed to the process.
The government of the Republic of South Sudan reiterates its commitment to fully implement the revitalized agreement on the resolution of conflict.
We are not at war. And I said this during my interview with the BBC this morning. The SPLA-IO, the spokesperson, said they are advancing toward Juba. So we are only stopping the advance of the SPLA-IO because we also have the right of self-defense, and therefore, in the process of practicing the right of self-defense, you will see us fighting to make sure that we stop the advancement. But the country is not in war. We are not in war.
But it's the civilian population that is bearing the brunt of the violence. Doctors Without Borders is warning that dwindling medical supplies in conflict zones could soon leave thousands without critical care.
We are operating what is called en remote in the area where we cannot access. But the problem is that we cannot resupply our hospital. So once the stock will be over, if we have no access and if we are not able to provide new supply, medical supply there, then it will be very difficult. So far, we succeeded to cope with what we have.
The UN also echoed concerns over the dire humanitarian situation. The ongoing violence is not just a military threat, but also a public health crisis with critical services on the brink of collapse.
Even now, as we speak today, we are perilously close to a civil war than we were 5 to 6 years ago. We are in a situation where the peace agreement is in threat. And when every stakeholder understands that keeping this peace agreement as the center of all our actions and try to implement it despite all the difficulties, that's the only way forward. But despite that, the peace agreement is today challenged in more ways than one.
With national elections planned for later this year, observers fear renewed fighting could further destabilize the country. Sharon Baranga, CGTN.
And for more on the situation in South Sudan, we earlier spoke to our correspondent, Patrick Oyet, in Juba.
Many people have left the areas. Some people have crossed to Ethiopia, where they have gone now as refugees, struggling, of course, to carry the elderly people, struggling to carry children. They have left behind the little harvest they had, because when there was relative peace, at least some people farmed. They have left this behind. They have gone. Some youth have moved to the cattle camps, because the cattle camps are normally far away from villages. They hope they will be safer there. And there's a lot of suffering. There are some people who have moved to some other places where they have some presence of UN to camp there. So people are moving away. This is what civil society groups and some ordinary South Sudanese people in Jonglei State are telling us. Here in South Sudan, the call is all about dialogue. The church is calling for dialogue. The Muslims are calling for dialogue. The African Union here in South Sudan is calling for dialogue. IGAD, of course, is the Intergovernmental Authority on Development, has the special envoy for South Sudan, who is here this week meeting with officials, and his call has been on dialogue. The United Nations is saying it is not just that dialogue is an option. It is the only option that is there for the current situation. That war is not an option. It can never solve problem. It has been tried several times and it has never solved the problem. So many South Sudanese people hope the only way out is for the political parties, political groups to dialogue because the problems that are happening in Jonglei and other parts of the country are only happening as a